Hello everybody and welcome along to League of Europe Division 4 for Season 7. This is round number 8 and we head to the Bahrain International Circuit, also known as the Sakir International Circuit, for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Now, as you can tell, your usual lead commentator is not here tonight. So you got me usually doing Division 3. I'm Jess Ball, and joining me in the commentary box, we have got Nolan. Nolan, how you doing?
I mean, it's funny that you say usual lead comment. I think he's been here for about 2 weeks of the season so far.
Well, he's not here. He's going to watch the football. Apparently, not watch the football. Do the football. So that's why he's not here. But we've got 16 drivers here tonight, ready to take centre stage. Bahrain International Circuit, designed by Herman Tilke and built in just 16 months, which is quite crazy. And another night race as well, because last week the Division 4 drivers went to Jeddah, and it was quite interesting as far as I'm aware. Talk us a little bit about that.
Oh, Jeddah was absolutely crazy. I was joined by J. Cole, and we had no idea. There was a point in the race with about 7 laps to go. We honestly were speechless. We both were silent. We didn't know what to say. It was mental.
Yes, Jeddah always likes to bring some craziness into league racing, and to be honest, I've grown in love with the craziness. So we'll go through your results actually from the race last week. We saw Valter that took the win with Sprunky in second. Sprunky, one of our reserves. I believe he's here tonight in the Red Bull, so great to have him back. Aledi in third, Resify in fourth, Paul Depose in fifth, Steve Day was in sixth, MTR was in seventh, Storm 72 was in eighth, Lix was in ninth, Jordan was in 10th, Steban was in 11th, and Connect was your final point score and your top 8 in the championship. Rectified now leads the way by 2 points over Valter, 85 points to 33. Third place is Pastor Jasper with 59. Fourth is Aledi with 58. Fifth is Paul Depose with 53. Lix is sixth with 52. Seventh is MCR with 45. And eighth is Steban with 43. So I will go through the other reserve drivers that we have tonight. I will get the other scene up in a minute. So we've got Lukey Boy in the Williams tonight. We've got Sprunky, as I said, in the Red Bull. And we've got United Bosnia in the Alfa Romeo. All the rest are full-time. And it's the thing that the drivers are probably going to be relieved about. Usually in Bahrain, it doesn't rain. So they've been practicing for the dry.
Yeah, that's one added benefit to the track. I have been on a Bahrain race with rain, but it was very strange. It was there was rain, but it was dry conditions. We never went onto the wet tyres or the inters, so it's very odd. But Bahrain's one of those tracks. Interesting to see how we're missing a few people. We've got 17 now, I guess. We do have 2 people with a qualifying ban. We have Flip, Namstram, and Ahern. Them 2 people have a quali ban for this. So Flip Namstram, he'll be staying in the pits. Have we got Ahern here?
He disconnected for Philip Nanshram, so he's trying to join back in the session, but he cannot, so hopefully he can join soon. There was quite a few stewards reports from last week. As far as I'm aware, Steban was quite involved in a few incidents. One of them got a 5-second penalty, 3 licence points for causing a collision, and then we saw 5 licence points for Paul Depose for no POV, but apart from that, no other major incidents. Jal got 5 licence points for causing a collision with Lix. Everyone else seems to be pretty clean in terms of incidents last week in Jeddah. But we are about to get underway with the Bahrain Grand Prix. A track which has a lot of DRS trains and also a track which is familiar to everyone who has been watching the F1 testing recently, because it's been there for 3 days already so far, and we found a bit more about the 2022 cars, but these obviously the 2021 cars, so a little bit different, harder to follow compared to the 2022 cars, but they're also going to be here next week in real life as well, so this gives a bit of a taste as to what the real life F1 drivers will be racing at next week. Not the cars, of course, but the actual track.
Yeah, I think the track layout at Bahrain is one of the better ones, I think, compared to the real life with the models. I think it's one of the closest. People are starting to complete the first laps now. We've got a couple of high 26s, approaching mid 26s. Not bad laps. I do expect to see Oh, he beats me by 4,000ths there. I do expect to see Division 4 creeping towards the low 26s, possibly a few flats. I know on certain tracks like Bahrain, this is one of the few that actually probably, well, not probably benefit, 100% has a massive benefit with ABS. So obviously we have some of the people that are scumbags like myself using ABS. I'd
So
expect some of them to be creeping near the 25s.
Yeah, I think quite a lot of people in this league use ABS. That's probably why a lot of people like Bahrain. And when I usually do my team, the AI, I have to turn it quite high actually, because otherwise I would dominate the race. But in all the other tracks, I obviously have to turn it right down again. So Bahrain is a track where the AI could be really, really slow for a driver that consistently relies on low AI. So we're going to follow someone on who's about to start a lap. Connects is just in the middle once. There's no point following him on lap. Most people are actually going through turn 10, so there's no point following them on yet. Interesting enough to see quite a few people on the mediums to get a feel for the track a little bit. Quite a lot of people in the top tiers. Most people will be trying soft to mediums regardless of where you are in the top 10 or outside the top 10. People in the lower divisions may do soft to hard inside the top 10 and medium to soft outside the top 10. But there may be a few people like near the top of each tier that may take quite a bit of risk. So I'm really interested to see which strategy comes out on top, because in the last game it was definitely the soft just die away pretty quickly. It still does, to be fair, but time management's going to play a massive factor into whether you either get points or you don't get points today.
Yeah, not just tyre management, even though it falls under the same umbrella, tyre temperatures can soar at Bahrain, so you really have to be careful how low you want to put them, because obviously the window, if someone wants to go for a soft medium, they're going to need their pressures quite high to be able to make them last, but at the same time they're going to have to struggle with tyre temperatures, so it is a balance. I think Bahrain's one of those tracks where we do see strategy play a bit more part in the finishing positions, so I do think we'll see a few varied strategies. Bahraini safety cars, which so far in Division 4, I don't think we've had a race without a safety car, so we can see from that point of view. At the moment, the other person that's stuck with the mediums, I think, is Resify, but he has done 2 laps on them, which I'm not sure is the smartest idea. If he is going to stick with those 2-lap mediums, the softer mediums just got a little bit more difficult for him.
Yes. Don't go on 2 laps on the softs around this track. Just don't, because you're more than likely going to be doing a 2-stop if you could do that. So, running on board with MCR as he's passed the back straight, a straight which can absolutely kill your tyres if you get that corner wrong. So he heads towards the final corner of turn number 15. He's going to have the DRS wide open. D-rates across the line with a 1:26.822, puts him into P5. His teammate REL Jordan up to the line with a 1:27.3. Quite a few people are still in the pits at the moment due to obviously qualifying bans, but we have 15 drivers of already set lap times. Some good laps from some people on the mediums with the likes of Resify and Bosnia as well. So I wonder if they're going to go on soft later on. I think they will. They could probably challenge the top guys, but with Lukey Boy and Licks being this high earlier on, they could probably aim for the 125s, but definitely close to the 25s if they can possibly can as well. But most people are on their outlaps right now as well. Some drivers not as high as they would like in the Drivers' Championship. A few people were out of position last week in Jeddah, but that is Jeddah for you because it was a new track. Bahrain has been on the F1 games for as long as I can remember. Different layouts. I remember F1 2010, I think, was the endurance layout. I can't remember. It was a different layout anyway in F1 2010. Kind of wish they had the outer layout in this game, but they did not. But maybe they could do it on future games as well. But Lix is about to start a lap. We may as well go on board with him as he starts his second lap on the softs for the Bahrain Grand Prix. He doesn't have many softs to use for, so let's see it anyway. So DRS wide open. He's already used quite a lot of VRS already, so you're going to be heading towards turn 1, braking just before the 100-meter board, clipping that right-hand curb, and you're going to be aiming to the left just a little bit for turn 2. And to the right a little bit on the turn 3 kink, using the DRS to full advantage. Activated that quite nicely, actually. Almost at 200 miles per hour as you head towards turn 4. This was the corner where Max Verstappen overtook Lewis Hamilton off track, and also Lewis Hamilton gained quite a bit of time when he went off track as well. Heading towards turn 7 and 8, he's doing quite well so far. He's purple in sector 1. We'll see if he gains in the second sector as he heads towards turn 9. These corners are going to be the most difficult around this circuit. Heavy braking zone as well, because you've got to brake a little bit whilst you turn, which could be hard for non-ABS users. Now you're going to be heading towards turn 11 and 12, which is just past the DRS zone. You can go flat out here as you head towards turn 13, but we've seen quite a few spinners in LOE races gone by. Pass now into turn 13 and 14, an understeery part of the track. And you're going to be heading towards the final few corners coming up now to finish off your lap. He's looking very, very good so far. Esteban is on pole at the moment, but Lex will come across the line to see if he can improve. It looks like a good lap for the Mercedes. It is a good lap, 3 tenths quicker than his previous best, and it puts him on pole position, 126.357.
Yeah, that is a very good lap to get going with 7 minutes left, and there were a few little mistakes in there, so he'll know that there is time to find, which probably good for him, because Stephen, let's not look over that lap. A 0.4 is also going to be very competitive in this field. That makes it a bit more difficult for the people outside the top 10 now, because they've got to start to think, can I find an extra second, or should I start to wonder if I want to settle for maybe the alternate strategy?
Yes, expect quite a lot of people to try and aim for 11th position in this track, because out of all the tracks on this game, I think Bahrain's one of those tracks where the alternate strategy could be OP. Jeddah, I found the alternate strategy could be quite OP as well, so but it is a night race anyway, so it is to be expected. Track temperatures will be cooler as well. Quite a lot of people may have done time trial in the day as well, so hopefully these drivers will remember to practice in the night time as well, because we saw that in testing as well. In real life, the conditions can be quite different and can affect your lap times. So here comes iConnect up to the line to set his second lap. We'll see if he can get out the 127s maybe. Yes, he does. A 126.893 just goes inside the top 10, and he found a lot of time there in that final sector, so very good for him. We've got, I believe, Mercedes, who's probably going to the pits. That is Lex. We've got a spinner and the Red Bull. That was Sprunky, but he's going to go into the pits anyway. So that is most people that done their second lap on the softs, so they'll be going into the pits to go out again. Now then, which drivers do you think are out of position right now and really need to step up again? Reservoir, I believe, is one of them, who's obviously leading the championship. He's down in 14th. That's not where I'm expecting him to be.
No, I think Reservoir, he went for a medium run at the start, which is never going to be competitive here, and then decided to go for a soft run. I think he may have invalidated it because he didn't improve. So he's probably got time to still find there. So at ERT Jordan, he's been very hit or miss recently. I thought he'd be a bit higher up, but if there's one thing we've learnt so far, Jordan and Jordan are holding hands this whole championship. They seem to be next to each other all the time. So it wouldn't surprise me if them two are back together. Strangely, Pat Sajapsa, I expect him to be on the front row of the grid really, the pace that we've seen from him so far.
Yeah, Jasper is near the front of the driver's standings. They did quite well in Jeddah as well, and it has similar conditions, even though the characteristics of the track is quite different. There's not many high-speed corners compared to Jeddah, but he likes these type of conditions, so maybe he performs best under pressure. So we've got Bosio actually, who will probably set his final lap on these soft tyres. I don't think he's going to have time to set another one, so at best he's probably going to be P11. But just a quick reminder to those of you that are new to LOE, you do get points if you're inside the top 12. It's not like Formula 1 where only the top 10 gets points. We're more inclusive in LOE compared to real life Formula 1. So if you finish in the top 12, you get points, and it's also the fastest lap if you finish inside the top 12 as well. So if you get the fastest lap inside the top 12, you get an extra point as well. So first place gets 25 points, and it's 18, 15, 12, 10 like normal. But this time it goes 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 points. And yeah, those are your point scoring positions, and that can make a difference sometimes. And there's been quite a few people that have scored points in every race. I've just been looking, I've been trying to find the post that one of our organisers posted and seeing if anyone in Division 4 scored in every race, but I can't find that. So I'll have to look at the standings myself. I will look at that at the moment. But everyone is going out on track again, including the Ferrari of Pastor Jasper. The Ferrari car in real life in F1 2022 looking quite good in testing. Is he going to look good here at the moment? He's looking good in the middle sector though. Purple so far. He should be higher up there, as Nolan said. He's headed towards turn 15 now. We'll see if he gets on the power. It's going to be a good lap, so I think it's going to be pole position. It could be. Yes, it is pole. 5 tenths quicker compared to his previous best. 1 minute 26.208. So he's looking like the favourite so far, but everyone else still need to set their final lap. So this could get very, very competitive indeed.
Yeah, it's quite fast at the front of the grid, which we were expecting. Division 4 is a lot closer to the other divisions than previous years, I think. We've seen the front of the grids especially. It's almost Division 3.5 at the moment at the front of the grid. We've got drivers like Japso, Lix, Steben, Mr. Wooter's up there all the time, obviously, Reservoir, Leddy. Like, they pull out lap times, which a lot of the Division 3 grid are pulling out. So I think the skill gap's a bit closer than usual, but that's going to make for a really good fight for the championship, as we're seeing with 7 rounds gone, only 2 points between first and second.
Yeah, since a lot of people use ABS, I expect the times to be a lot closer. And compared to other divisions as well, yes, I could totally agree. A time in Division 4 could be like a top 10 in Division 3, because there's quite a few people in Division 3 that run no ABS. So, you know, that's why we don't usually run Bahrain in like any evaluations or anything like that, because it's just not representative in terms of everybody's pace, because ABS is quite powerful. But we got people about to start their laps. Spunky being one of them, finished really well in Jeddah last time out as reserve, finished P2 just behind Valter as well. So doing a great job, and he's looking to really capitalise on that as well. He's out of position in P5, but he's quite close to his teammate as well, so for tonight. So he heads towards turn 4, and we'll see how he's set to 4-time compared as well. But we'll keep an eye on everyone else who's just about to start. I believe the Aston Martin driver of Bowers has started his lap as well. As he's been recently promoted from a D5 reserve to a D4 reserve. So we'll see how he does in Division 4. As Sprunky heads towards turn 10. And I didn't see what his set to 1 time is like, so we'll have a look in a minute. What about Saban? He's about to start his lap. We've got Bowers. We'll see what his set. I didn't have time to see what his set to 1 time was, but everyone is going out for one final time. This could get very crucial, as Pastor obviously set a lap at the end of the session. Earlier on in the session compared to everybody else, he has retired. Meanwhile, his teammate did a Mazda spin and spun in turn 2. Luckily, he didn't get any damage, but unfortunately for the Ferrari driver, that is his qualifying session over, and we'll see how the rest do.
Yeah, and something to point out, Lukey boy, this is the second time we've seen him. He reserved for the first time, I believe, in Monaco, and DNF'd that race, which is very understandable. And the second time he's coming in at Bahrain, very similar flag actually, and he's on the second row of the grid as it stands.
Yes, so we got a few people about to finish their laps then. Belter could have time to go again if he wants to. He goes into P5. What about his teammate? He doesn't improve on his position. We've got the 2 McLarens about to start their lap. To be fair, Jordan and MCR have been the only 2 drivers in this division to score in every single race. It might have been low points, but it's still points, and that could mean anything in this league. So, we've got an Aston Martin about to finish his lap. Jordan, ERT John up to the line. PA, a very respectable lap for him. Next across the line will be IRT_iConnects. So he comes across the line just behind Jordan with a 126.759. That is very close. Pole Depot's up to the line in P7. Saban, we know, spun quite earlier on, so we won't follow him. So we will follow Reservoir, who's currently down in last at the moment. But I didn't see what his middle sector was, but let's hope it's good for him, because otherwise he's going to have a mammoth task this race to get near the front of the field. It's not a good lap time at all, even though he's improved a 127.0. So unfortunately, he's going to be starting no higher than 15th position. MCR dives his way back into the pits. We've got an Alpine up to the line. P12 for Aledi. So quite close to Jordan.
A decent place to start, that. Decent place to start, I'd say.
Yes, not bad actually if you're on the on his strategy, so I'll say he'll take that. Jordan's got a damaged front wing Ariel Jordan. So
I'm just going to bring your attention to Bosnia for a moment. He's come around the last corner. He was 2.5 tenths up, it just said, but he's had a very scruffy exit out of the last corner, and this could potentially get him exactly where he wants to be. P14, so without that little mistake, I think he'd have actually been around the P11 spot, which would have been perfect for him. But the one benefit to these guys not having as many people in the lobby, the alt strategy, nearly any position is going to be great. I think looking at this grid, I think Resify would have been hoping for a little bit more.
Yes, everyone set their best lap on the softs, I believe. Let me just have a look. Yes, everyone set their best lap on the softs. So the top 10 will be going on the softs. People outside the top 10, I am expecting it to be a mixed bag, but I would recommend starting on the mediums personally. If you do have a race later, that is my top tip. If you're outside the top 10, start on mediums. And then you could be really open in terms of the strategy. You could go on to softs, which is more likely. Or if you're not good at time management, you can then go on to the hards later on as well. So it makes it for a little bit more of a flexible strategy. So starting on mediums will be ideal for these people outside the top 10. As we're just waiting for the last two drivers to make their way into the pits. So obviously Philip got a qualifying ban, so he'll be starting at the back. Hopefully he'll join back in time, fingers crossed. So come on, Valter, go in the pits. There we go, he's finally going into the pits. So we will run through your qualifying results again, and we'll see how close this field really was. It was quite a close field actually, so expect to be having a lot of overtakes in the race. And it's Pastor Jasper on pole then, so he retired earlier on, and his lap before everyone else went on the track was enough. So he did the right thing there. Almost 2 tenths quicker than Lex in second, Staban in third, Lukey in fourth, and we got Valter in fifth, Bronchi in sixth, Pole Depot seventh, Barrow's having a good qualifying result in eighth, Jordan ninth, Canet in 10th, and we've got MCR, Aledi, Ariel Jordan, Bosnia, Steve Day, Resify, and then obviously Philip for his qualifying ban. And look at that, no, in the top 16 separated by just under 9 tenths of a second. Not even a second, that is crazy.
Yeah, it's a very close field, as always in Division 4, and it's been interesting now to look at the people outside the top 10, because looking at the way Division 4 has gone, I honestly think I'd start on the hards. I think the safety car's almost guaranteed here, and I would not want to be on those medium tyres when the safety car comes out, and you're stuck with having to go into the hards later on in the race.
Yes, pretty much in the lower divisions. It's more the lower division that you are, the more likely that you have a safety car around here as well. But it depends if you like the track. There will be few people that will be taking it a little bit more aggressive and more ambitious because they like the track and want to gain as many positions as they can. But there will be a few people that are trying to be more cautious and just finish the race and try and get as many points as they can because they're starting low and they don't want to be involved in too many instances. We're just waiting for one driver to ready up and then we could get the lobby going once again. And we'll go for your constructors actually whilst we are waiting for everybody to get their setups launched. It's taken a while actually, but we'll go through your constructors and it will help me if I get the right division. So Red Bull are leading the Division 4 Constructors Championship with 102 points. Then we got Ferrari in second on 102. Third is Mercedes on 90. Then fourth is AlphaTauri on 89. Then we got McLaren in fifth on 85. Sixth is Alfa Romeo on 81. Seventh is Alpine with 70. Then we got quite a big gap between them and Aston Martin. Eighth on 40. Ninth is Haas with 33. And Williams in 10th on 29 points. So quite a close gap between the top 7 at least. The top 2 actually level on points, Red Bull and Ferrari, so quite a decent rivalry there. And we saw how Red Bull got quite a lot of points in Jeddah. Ferrari didn't, so this is Ferrari's time to shine, with both Ferraris being ahead of the Red Bulls tonight.
Yeah, they've been going back and forth, the Red Bull and the Ferrari team. Same points on week 1. Red Bull then outscored them in week 2. Ferrari went back and outscored them in week 3, and then Red Bull outscored them in week 4. Ferrari massively outscored them in week 5, and then they both decided to get no points at Britain. And then just like you said, Red Bull have outscored them again. So a team yet to take advantage and pull a lead 2 weeks in a row out of these two. Seems to be a very yo-yo, well evenly out team, which is good for us. We do have both Ferraris and both Red Bulls racing, so we can enjoy a good scrap there. And not only for the team championships are they fighting, they've got their own little things to fight for as well. Because I think Stephen started off the season poorly, got 2 DNFs. If you minus his DNFs, he's actually finishing quite well in the races. He just needs to finish the races, which would be nice for him. And obviously, ironically so, the top of the championship is the baby Red Bull team in AlphaTauri. So,
so yeah, they've got.
I think
they've
we
got
have
quite
a proud Gasly there.
Yeah, they got quite a bit to do, but we'll keep an eye on the tyres actually. MCR, the only driver to go on the hard, so again, he could be very flexible with the strategy, and if there is a safety car at a reasonable time, he could go onto the medium tyres if he wanted to, and won't have to go onto the hards. Everybody else, which is Aledi, Jordan, United Bosnia, Steve Day, Reservoir, and Philip. So I don't think Philip is going to join the session because he keeps disconnected from the lobby. So that will just be his ghost, unfortunately. So we will be down to 16 drivers. It's quite tough to call who I think is going to win this race. It's going to be unpredictable again, but I don't know. Lix is looking quite good, but usually he's inconsistent in the races. But I don't know. I'm gonna have to. I'm not entirely sure for that one. I have to go for Pastor Jasper, but it could be someone in the alternate strategy that could do it. Let us know your thoughts quickly. I think we'll see
Stephen. I think Stephen, Mr. Walter, and Reservoir.
Nice choices, actually. Reservoir, don't forget, is on the honor strategy, so not a bad move for predictions. Let us know your thoughts in the chat as we're about to start Division 4 as Viv has just joined. No. Hopefully that doesn't cause any problem with the lobby, please. Luckily it does not, I believe, fingers crossed, and as I probably just jinxed myself. No, I didn't, that's good. Anyway, the 5 red lights are on. And we are underway for Bahrain Division 4. Let's see who gets the best start.
Great start for Stephen.
Great start from Stephen, actually, as they make their way towards turn 1.
His teammate's going to cut across as well.
As they make their way towards turn number 1. The Ferrari's going side by side as well. Saban could get the lead, heading towards turn 2 and 3 as well. The Williams had a good start as well. Lix had an awful start, so we need to try and capitalise as well. They head towards turn 4. Now we can try and see the Mercedes trying to fight back for the Williams, but Stephen who gets the lead of this race, past Jasper.
And Wiki Boys holding on the outside. They're going to go side by side into the S's.
Oh my goodness, they
are doing enemy contact! And I learned that the hard way with Gary last season. You don't go side by side, lap 1 in the S's. That was going to end poorly for someone. I'm not sure who should have backed out there, to be honest. But unfortunately for them, I don't know if Japs has got damage. It doesn't look like he does. I'm not sure. Going into turn 1, it looked like we got a bit of teamwork from the Ferraris there. Stephen got a great start. Japson moved over to the right to cover second place and kind of almost let Stephen through. I'm not sure if he did let Stephen through, but that's what it seemed like, is Aledi and Reservoir going at it. And Reservoir is already up into P11 on those mediums, so a brilliant start for him. Overall, seems like a decent start. Just unfortunate for Luke Boy, who had a brilliant start himself.
Yeah, he did have a good start, but unfortunately going side by side in the S's does not work at times unless you're able to take the risk. Going on here? We've got Connect and Philip going for a move there as well, but don't forget Philip is a ghost. They make a bit of contact as well. That is not good.
Namshram, I think he's decent. For him, I think he's a ghost, but he's not, because the way it was looking at my screen there, he was ghosted for the guy behind, but he was still making contact on Flip's screen.
Yes, that is not good at all, but we've gone to lap 2 now. Steven Saban is first with Pastor Jasper in second, but Lix is right on the back of him in P3, but surely you don't want to go side by side here. He's going to stay behind the dirty air as well. The downforce makes it harder to follow other cars, so you're just staying around about 5 tenths until you get within the range to do the overtake, maybe in the next lap or 2 as well. Yellow flag as well in sector 2. That's probably the AlphaTauri of Connect. So you may go into the pits maybe, which won't be an ideal
Steve into the wall. He's put it into the wall. He's lost his wing and flips around as well.
That is a shame. So one Mercedes in the walls at the moment, and so is Philip as well. So that is their races compromised.
And he's come out on the hards, and there's that corner, they're going to be so cold, and that corner you've got to really feather the grip, and he's clearly gone a bit too hard in. And at this point now, Flips, it says for me, he's in the pits again, so he really is decent, because I can see him currently driving through sector 2.
Yes, I think he's desynced for me as well. So, yeah, there's going to be some issues, but he probably may have to leave the lobby or something because he's causing quite a lot of trouble for us and the drivers as well. But meanwhile, we got some battles in the midfield as well with Resify trying to get past MCR. Resify, to be fair play to him. He was near the back and he's all the way up into 10th position already. So, we did say keep an eye out for Resify in this race, and you're not wrong. We're not wrong at all because he's so good on the pace. And we did say the alternate strategy can be OP. And the next person he's got to overtake is Ariel Jordan, the first person leading on the medium strategy.
And Aleddy's down. Aleddy's around.
That's Aleddy. Aleddy has spun around.
He's lost his wing as well.
Where's that? That is turn 4 and turn 5. And that is an example what not to do in that corner. Or he may have lost himself,
I'm so
actually. It was hard to
surprised
tell.
that we're seeing so many mistakes at Bahrain. It's not normally one of those tracks where you see a lot of people in the wall. It's quite easy to keep it on track and keep your no warnings, I guess. It's just not well. My experience from watching Bahrain, it's just one long train simulator. So I'm really surprised at this. But we've got the big train at the top. Sorry. Currently at the moment, if you're in the train, you're scoring points because it goes down to P11, arguably P12, but Connects is just starting to drop off a little bit. So you were saying about Resify. Resify has done extremely well on those mediums. So has Jordan. Let's not take away from Ariel. Jordan is sat in P9, very much in the train.
Doing quite well.
Indeed, next to each other again, as always. But these medium runners now can just sit behind the softs, let them have their race, and there's going to come a point when Jordan and Resify really need to be smart and use each other because they're going to need each other if they're going to compete with these soft runners after they pit.
Yes, because don't forget, the softs tend to die around about 8 laps. That they go to be worse for wear, so watch out for the mediums roughly about them pretty much beforehand, potentially as well. So if they're in a train for this long, this could be huge trouble as well. So we've got some more yellow flags. I think that was just a lot of carbon fibre flying everywhere, but we'll watch the battles up near the front as well. DRS activated. Will Mattia Bonotto allow these two to fight for position? We'll have to wait and see who remembers when it was a Ferrari 1 team. Michael Schumacher, Rubens Barrichello. We know what happened there.
It's going to be a bit late.
Jasper, it was a bit late there, as Lukey Boy has got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. He had to pit quite early due to the trouble he had earlier on, but that 5-second penalty is not going to help him either way. But, ooh, that was close for both the Ferrari boys.
I tell you what, I'll tell you why he's looking at this quite desperately. There's a point that's going to come up very quickly in this race where the window for these tyres, someone's going to have to pit. And whoever's in the front, you'll assume is going to be the one that pits first. If you have to stay out an extra lap at Bahrain, that's going to cost you a lot of time because those softs will drop off. So these two drivers need to figure out who's going to be first and who's going to pit first. As Pats is going to go for the move now. Stephen goes into P2, and I wonder if there is any teamwork going on here, if they're in a party together. Japsa has got the championship position out of the two, but it's very early in the season yet, so let's see whether Stephen's going to go for it again. He's backing off.
He is.
Maybe the plan is to let Japsa pit.
Yeah, maybe as well, because don't forget, the undercut can be quite powerful sometimes as well, but you don't want to do the double stack as Bowers gets past pole depot into turn 4. Very nicely done from the Aston Martin driver up into P6 as well. Not far behind Sprunky too, so doing a pretty decent job. Both of the Aston Martins doing a decent job as well. The other Aston Martin is behind pole depot, so he's in an Aston Martin sandwich right now as they head towards turn 9 and turn 10. A heavy braking zone coming up as well. Most of them tend to be doing it quite well as well. It is a lot easier, this braking zone, compared to previous games. I remember on the last game it was absolutely awful for me, but whereas on this game it's a lot easier, so that's probably why. But it does depend if you use ABS or not, of course. No one is hugely close for a battle yet, unless if you're Jordan and Sprunky. Sprunky could get past Valve very soon too. But again, like you said, the soft will start to die just a little bit more as well. There has been some great battles over the years in Bahrain. Remember Lewis Hamilton, Nico Rosberg, 2014. That battle in Bahrain used to go on for absolutely ages. Probably one of the best battles in Bahrain that I've seen in a while as well. Alonso took his first Ferrari win here as well. And Kubica scored his first one and only pole around here in 2008. Probably different layout though, but still, he got a pole. And remember Raikkonen, he had a recovery drive around here to start at the back of the grid. and he finished quite well actually. So he's doing exactly the same to obviously what Reservoir is doing right now. Speaking of Reservoir, he got past Jordan, so he's now the leading medium runner now. So he's now going to try and chase down the soft runners, which shouldn't be too hard. Another yellow flag as Jordan almost had a moment there in turn 4. Ariel Jordan, that is. Sorry if you keep getting confused. But speaking of the other Jordan, he's right on the back of pole post now.
Yeah, this train just behind the front runners is really starting to pile up behind Sprunky, and we found out, talked about this situation with the two Ferraris. We've got a very similar situation with the Red Bulls. Sprunky is ahead of Mr. Wouter, and Wouter is, Sprunky's a reserve, so surely you're going to prioritise Mr. Wouter getting the pit stop first, I'd assume, but maybe Sprunky's just here to prove a point for himself, as we've got more yellow flags, and I don't know who that's for. No, oh, that's Flip Namsham, I think, so a terrible race for him.
Yellow flags just keep popping up in Sector 1, like, very weirdly.
Yeah, the top of Sector 1, whenever someone drives around, I honestly think there's a bit of desync here.
Yes, it's happened, I think it's happened in a race I did, commentated on Wednesday. Someone that was hugely desynced, and it just kept yellow flagging in Sector 1 every time the Alpine
Well, hopefully
passed.
we don't see any penalties
Hopefully
because
not.
of that.
Oh,
But we are...
pit stop. Sprunky's in, Bowers in. Now that is early. That is early for mediums. Are they gonna? It's a question of they get to the end, but it does drop off 8 laps, and it is predicted the mediums are expected to last 14. But I think with the patches that happened quite recently, it may last a bit longer, like maybe 15, 16 laps potentially. So it could happen. You never know. So I'm actually going to do some math. 29 minus 7, 22. That is a big risk. They have to do 22 laps on these mediums. I don't think they could do it, you know, but they may think they could have a safety car and that could put them back into this as well. But we have seen, obviously, the top guys in the top leagues do it, so why not do it for these guys as well? And if they get ahead of the ones who will pit later, then this could work out huge for likes of Sprunky and Bowers, but the gap was quite big anyway, so we'll see. Pit lane loss around here is about 22 seconds, so let me just look at the gap, actually, to the leader. 25.8. So at the moment, if Esteban pits now, well, he will come out ahead of the ones that have just pitted.
Yeah, it's a very bold call by these two to go for the mediums, getting to the end. I think I said I may pit for the hards on lap 6. These guys have gone for the mediums on lap 7, so this could be a very, very bold strategy. Japser is in to undercut his teammate. His teammate's going to have to stay out for an extra lap. I'm surprised Mr. Wouter has stayed out there, actually, but maybe he doesn't think the mediums will go as long as they will, but Mr. Wouter is racing Resify and Japser at the moment for the championship, so he's seen his championship rival go into the pits. How's he going to respond?
Yeah, as predicted, Pastor Jasper is ahead of Sprunky by 1.6 seconds. So, and don't forget, they were in the same DRS train as well. So we'll see where Esteban goes ahead of these guys.
Jordan and Connects have come out on the hards.
They come out on the hards. That's what I would have done. That is what I would have done if I would have struggled on the soft. I would have gone onto the hards now. So keep an eye on these two on the hards at the moment, because their tyres, realistically, can get to the end of the race. But one thing I need to point out as well, Canet is running very low on fuel. He's on the yellow warning lights. We do have a yellow flag. That is one of the Mercedes. That might be Steve again. Nope, it's not Steve.
Oh, it's
Licks. It's Licks that's gone off in, is
and
it
those
turn
softs have
13?
Gone. Yeah, and those that corner does get very difficult as the grip leaves your soft tyres.
Yeah, it does. So Licks has got it all to do now. Oh, we got battle. We got Staban, who is struggling on those soft tyres. He comes in. So does, I believe, someone else. Valter comes in as well. But Canet, I think we'll keep an eye on him as well, because if he's not careful enough, if there's no safety car, his fuel is not going to get to the end of the race. That's what the yellow warning light is for. So watch out for him. But everybody else, I'll be looking at their fuel at the moment, and they're looking pretty decent to go to the end of the race. Keep an eye on Sprunky and Pastor Jasper. Are they going to be ahead of the people that just pitted? Yes, they are ahead.
What's Flip doing here?
He's a lap down.
but he just waited. I'm confused about.
Because ghosting is on, so I don't know why he's let people through. Interesting.
I'm confused.
I am confused as well. But you're gonna lose more time just by moving out of the way. But if the car behind can't close into you, then they were quite close anyway. But I don't know. It baffles me. But Valter is ahead of the likes of Jordan and Steven. But Pastor Jasper leads with Sprunky when he pitted. That really helped him. Bowers as well. So some people the undercut benefited from them, some people the overcut. I think Pastor benefited from the overcut, Sprunky the undercut. Everybody else I think struggled a little bit, but Valves benefited too. Jordan is an ERT, Jordan's a net P5, so his race is going really well, but don't want to jinx him too much. Pole deposed in. Now that is the time I would expect people to go onto the medium tyres. So he comes onto the mediums.
I just want to point out the time difference between Wouter and Japsa right now. Japsa pitted a lap beforehand, and it's worked out quite well. I don't think they were too far apart anyway, though.
No, I think they were a lap apart.
He's got a lap pressure tyres, and he's not dropped off that much time. And a lap pressure tyres on the mediums could probably mean quite a lot because the tyre degradation on this track is very, very high.
Yes, as I found out when I was doing practice earlier on, and I'm almost certain that you did as well, even though both of us combined did not much practice, join less practice club.
10 laps of TT club, 10 laps of TT, and we're getting the win.
I did less than that, I did 7.
There you go then.
So
17 laps of TT between us, and that's our practice.
That probably means I'm going to do rubbish in the race, but I'm not bothered really. As long as I get points, that's all I care. But anyway, lap 10. So everybody on the soft status pitted, so that is ratified and now leads on track, but your net race leader is Pastor Jasper, but we are questioning whether those tyres are going to get to the end. Now, Pole Depot gets past ERT Jordan on the mediums, but it is to be expected because the mediums at this stage are 6/10 quicker than the hards, so it was quite an easy move for him in the DRS. So Pole Depot's up into a net P5 on track. Jordan, though, still in 6th, so not too bad, but expect the likes of Lix and Steven to try and get past as well. So we will keep an eye on that. Yeah. Philip's already 3 laps down already, but on his screen, he may be, like, probably higher up. I don't know. But anyway, we've got a battle. Sprunky and Pastor Jasper. This could be for the net race lead as they make contact a little bit into turn 2 and 3. Oh my god, that could have been curtains. But Sprunky then tries to go to the left-hand side line. And does Sprunky cover off? He's going to go the long way round, goes Sprunky, into turn 4. They might try to go side by side in the S as well. That could be very risky. But Sprunky backs off. And
we're seeing the exact same further down with Connects and Bosnia. Them two are also scrapping at it for the final points position as Luke Boy's now gone out of the race. Well, that caused a safety car. That's perfect for the front 3. That is exactly what they'd want.
Well, I have to say, the driver that is going to benefit the most from this, I did say to this person, pitting on the hards could be the best decision. Even you said it first, not going to lie. MCR. Jordan and Razify, their only option is to go on the hards. Don't forget they're 6/10 slower than the mediums. MTR could go on the mediums to the end of the race. He's going to be on fresh tyres. I don't think MTR used mediums in qualifying. So he's going to be on fresher tyres and softer tyres compared to everybody else. This has worked wonders. That could get to the end nice and perfect. So I will be surprised if MTR does not pit. So MTR goes in. He will go on the mediums. Happy days. So the one who's benefited the most is MCR, but for everybody else, I'm just trying to find Connect. Connect must be breathing a sigh of relief right now. He could save a bit of fuel, and they made contact with Bosnia. Not ideal there. Before the recent patch, that would have been a penalty, but they have cracked down on that on this game, luckily.
Yeah, and you have 2 options in this stage now: the front 2 and the mediums. Either pit for the hards and trust that they'll do the job, or potentially, if you'd really want to be in the mediums, pit for softs and then go back out onto the mediums again.
Well, majority of them have stayed out, so Pastor, Sprunky and Valter, but they can save a bit of life on those tyres to get a little bit further into the race and try and get them to the end as well. Resify's
I mean,
worked well as
I'm-
well because he just pitted, so he's in 4th
If
position.
I'm Resify and Ariel Jordan, so Jordan's gone onto the hards, Resify's onto the hards. They've just got to trust that those hards now do the job, because they can either enjoy the trap position and go for it, or they can pit again now and put the mediums back on. They'll have a fresh set of mediums to get to the end, but obviously they'll be a lot further back. So I think what they've just got to hope now is that the pace on the hards is what they need it to be, but I don't want to say I told you so.
You were right. It's given me an idea for later on tonight for my race. Don't forget there are Division 1 and Division 3 happening at the same time as us as well. So you can have the streams going on side by side as well. Support all 3 divisions. That will be lovely. But watch our division more because, you know, this has been quite crazy already. And there's also Division 2 and Division 5 on at 8:10. Resify is going very slightly at the moment, but there we go. Division 2 and Division 5 happening at 8:10, both of which we are racing at as well around Bahrain too. So we'll see how our races fare as well. There was meant to be a PT race, but I don't think there was many people that turned up, so that's why there wasn't any race streamed. So yeah, so we've got more Bahrain races to come tonight. If you wanted some more Bahrain action, I kind of want to see what's going on in the other divisions as well whilst this is happening, but it's going to take a while for Bosnia and Steve to catch up, and obviously Philip as well a lap down. Oh, that's going to cause quite a bit of chaos. Well, let's just see how the other divisions actually are going. I wonder if they got any safety cars at the moment or had any safety cars. They're probably in the same position as they are now. Division 1 has not had any safety cars yet, I don't think, but they have started obviously quite early than us. They're on lap 18 at the moment. Only 2 retirements in Division 1. So just like Division 4, only one retirement. Technically 2 if Nazwan retired as well. But yeah, I'm surprised that there hasn't been many retirements, but they are not giving up and want to get as many points as possible, being there's only about 16 drivers left in this race.
Yeah, Namtram and Steve Day, the issue with them is they're not really being able to save the tyres. They just have to race full speed. I don't know what the case is with Namstrom. He's still ghosted whenever I spectate him. So now it's just gone. I'm confused at what's going on with Flip's car. But the order as it stands, everyone should be able to make it till the end. That's the most important part that we're looking at here. Japsa is in P1. So pitting early before his teammate paid off massively for him. If you look at where Stephen is, having to stay out an extra lap. So that little scrap for first that we saw earlier had a much bigger repercussions for it, because he is, well, 5 positions ahead, sat in P1 before the restart of this race. Sprunky ahead of his teammate, the Red Bulls. He's got 2 Red Bulls behind him as Jap, so that could be a worry for him. But Welch is going to be hoping to get past as soon as he can on 2-lap pressure tyres. And then Resify in the middle. He's going to be interesting because we've seen how fast he is. He is on the hards though. These front 3 will be hoping that Resify can hold off the guys behind him as long as possible. And if they could just make the race about themselves, we could just see a fight for the podium.
Yes, I'm very, very excited about this fight. It's going to get quite intense as well. We've seen how safety cars happen here in Bahrain in real life, of course. In the short layout and obviously this layout too. So I believe the safety car will be coming in next lap. So Pastor has to have a good restart because he is got a point to prove in this championship. Valter is ahead of Razafai, and that is quite crucial because they have a small gap to each other in terms of the championship. Don't forget Razafai leading the way on 85 points, as I was saying earlier. Valter in second on 83. So could be quite interesting. But if any of those two have bad races, Pastor Jasper could capitalise. But Razafai and Valter will still be ahead in the championship anyway, regardless, I think. I'll need to obviously do the maths on that one as well. But luckily, I'm not the one doing the standings in Division 4, so I don't need to worry about that.
Well, if he gets fastest lap, he could go level with first if Resify didn't score points.
Ooh, that could be interesting. That could be quite intense, actually, because don't forget, yes, fastest lap. If you're inside the top 12 and get fastest lap, you will get points. Nobody will be going for softs then at the end, unless there's another safety car, which, with the likelihood of this one, it could happen.
I tell you what, I'm looking at the front three. Sorry to cut you off there.
No worries.
When I look at the races, it is very, very fair and even how it's distributed because all three drivers have had two races where they've scored 0 points, be it DNFs or didn't turn up to the race. So they've all had an even opportunity to score the points. Two of them have 2 wins. Japs has got 1 win. If he scores this win, every single one of them have 2 wins each and 2 0-point scores each.
Safety car's in, Nolan. Safety car is in. I can't call who's going to get the good restart on this one, but these are, apart from Sprunky, who's a reserve, we have 3 championship contenders fighting for decent positions and wins to get another win. Pastor Jasper looking for another one, so it's Valter as well. Recify looking to extend his lead in the Drivers' Championship. So we will see how this one goes. We'll keep an eye on Pastor Jasper's restart. He's leaving it very late. I would have gone a lot earlier than that, but he's going. He's green, green, green right now, and Sprunky.
Oh, Stevens had a great start once, just like before, and he's going side by side with pole poles, going into turn 1. Oh, he's broke very late. He's got the bit. He hasn't got that done, has he?
Yeah,
he's got
he made a bit of contact. He's got past 2 drivers.
That is insane.
He made a bit of contact, but that was amazing for Stephen as well. As Pastor Jasper still leads, Sprunky in second, Valter third, Stephen in fourth. Recify drops from 4th to 5th. That is not ideal for him at all. So many positions lost at the moment. Pole to Pose is trying to get Recify now as well. Recify though is going to be on harder tyres, which could struggle around here in Bahrain as Canet has now got enough fuel to get to the end of the race. That safety car has saved him. Bowers and Canet is trying to get past both of them. We will see what they can do.
The Hards are really struggling at the start.
Yep, they are.
They're still side by side though. Canet has some good straight line speed. Not using much ERS either, so he has a good straight line speed on his setup. And we're talking about setups at Bahrain. It is a strange one because you see, 2 very long straights. You'd assume people be running quite low wings, but people do run quite high wings because you just lose out so much in the middle sector if you don't. So drivers like Car Mentalist, Killer Blue, they run a slightly lower wings, and it is very difficult to get past them, even if you are faster than them. As Bowers and Connect still side by side now as they come down into the straight.
This is insane.
Bit of contact made, but he's finally got the move. And there's no DRS deployed yet, so they might struggle, but they've cost themselves a lot of time to the group ahead.
They have as well, but this makes it a good fight and a good show as well. But Bowers, he's got a point to prove as Connector spun. He's spun into turn 1 as well, making a little bit of contact with some of the drivers behind as well. So both pretty much Jordan Bosnia and ERT Jordan have got past him, and he's trying to fight back, getting past one of the Jordans as well, heading towards turn 4. Then this is cost Connects big time. But that's helped Bowers in a way as well, as he now trying to close in on this train. He's now back in this DRS train as well. But the more crucial thing at the front, Sprunky's now out of DRS range, so he's got to close the gap ever so slightly to get back in this DRS train again. He's almost in that DRS train, so that can help him a little bit. But we're starting to see Connect struggle a little bit more. Maybe he's been in too much pressure right now, but we'll have to wait and see. We're pretty much halfway into this race now with Pastor Jasper leading. And with Sprunky still having no DRS, that can help Pastor Jasper in a way as we head towards turn 4 in the DRS detection point. But this is the understeery part of the track now that Connect gets past, which is very difficult on the hards.
Oh, Resify's going to have to use here. He's so close to dropping out of DRS, and if he drops out of DRS on those hards, then he's going to be in some trouble. It activates after turn 1. He won't get it down this straight, but there is his own straight afterwards. And he's going to be in desperate need to sit in DRS, because otherwise those hards are going to be of deep threat of all the medium runners behind him. He could drop down the field, and currently he's not used, which I'm surprised at, because I think he may have screwed himself a bit there.
Yeah, I think quite a few people have been screwed with the safety car restart, not gonna lie. They were probably hoping to not have a safety car, but you get luck sometimes in motorsport, and you do not get luck. So Jordan does eventually get past Connects once again, but Connects could try and get the switch back here. Heading towards turn 5 and 6 they go. When was the last time? Oh no! Jordan spun! Please avoid the wall. He's avoided the wall. But he was on for a good result, and I think I massively commentated cursed him. I do apologise. But he's now down into 14th position. Oh, no. What a shame for him. That could have been points, but still, there could be a late safety car. He could still be in this race, so he should not give up. And his tyres are going to be absolutely cooked, though. So, what a shame. Let's jump back to the front at the moment, because that Ferrari is all over the back of the Red Bull.
Yeah, they're having a good little scrap here, and this is exactly what Resify needs. And Resify needs to just use and use. He's not going to like having to do it because he's going to have nothing left, but he needs to take advantage of these two scrapping, because otherwise he's going to be in no man's land. He needs that DRS, but Stephen's going to have the run here. Quite a simple overtake, DRS. We see that quite often, and we might see a little bit of a trade here. Quite often we see an overtake there, and then they get on back on this straight, but this straight, it finishes quick. You think you've got a lot more time to get the move. Sprunky's round! Sprunky spun round from second place. And he's just reversing. He's not going back onto track. He's been quite safe because he didn't drive into anyone. And he's gone from second all the way down into 13th position.
That's not ideal at all. Another commentator's curse, Alex. I did say Sprunky would do quite well, so what a shame. But that does mean we got Ferrari 1-2. I hope we get to see that next week in real life. Please. That would be amazing. Going back to the Ferrari glory days. That's just my personal opinion, because I want to see Ferrari up top again, and we're seeing that in LOE tonight. Pastor Jasper has got a 1.7 second gap now over Stephen. Valter 8 tenths behind Resify. He's not closing up too much, but those halves are going to be more quicker towards the latter stages of this race. MCR though on the mediums, not using it to his full effect. He thought the safety car could help him a little bit, but the ones on the mediums in front of him are just a lot quicker, but they've taken a while to get used to those tyres. ERT Jordan does get past Sprunky, so one more place, and then he gets into the points as well. So luckily ERT Jordan did not get any damage, so at least he could keep going until the end. And who knows, there could be another retirement, and he could still get some points out of this.
Yeah, there's still a chance for people to get points. You never give up. That's one thing I've learned in LOE. You can pull points out of anywhere. If you stick in there, last week, for instance, I was almost lapped by lap 3. And I found myself in a P5 position before me and my teammate decided to put each other into a wall. But before that, you pull something back that you don't expect, and these two guys, they're still going at it back. 10th, 11th and 12th, they're all scrapping. Steve Day's gone back up the inside of Connects. No contacts made, and they carry on. And these guys really fighting for the bottom end of the points, but it's good to see that even when they're not fighting for the podium positions, they're still scrapping for anything they can get.
That's me. That's me usually in LOE Division 5. I'm always trying to scrape as many points as I can, because usually I'm the one that scores either no point or even fewer points as well. So it's kind of reminiscent to what I experience on a weekly basis, but it's so nice to see no matter where you are, you still like to have some fights, because it's better having that than you just driving around Bahrain for the whole race by yourself. So
you just feel like you've wasted your time then.
Yeah, you then waste your time if you're by yourself. But when you hang a battle, you're just loving life right now as well, and that will just allow the guys in front of them just to increase the gap even more. Jordan as well will be loving this, but he's going to be in a battle of his own as well as he tries to close it in on Bauer's MCR as well. I'm just seeing if Blitz is going to go for it on pole to post into turn 1. Can he? He stays behind, but surely he would want the DRS.
Watch out for MCR here.
MCR 2 is right on the back of this as well. Could this be a double overtake for MCR? We'll see. He's got the most traction.
I think he's going to get licks.
He's got the most traction. He could get licks. Licks might try and get pole to pose. Oh my goodness, this could be. He's definitely going to get licks.
Licks has lost it a little bit.
Licks has gone a bit wide there, so MCR up to 6th
and Bowers has gone as well.
Bowers has gone as well, so MCR has timed this perfectly, up to 6th position, and he's all the back of pole to pose.
Like an absolute piranha. Bowers just dived in there. I didn't even think it was possible for him to get the move done, but he dived up in there. As Jordan's back past Brunker, them guys are carrying on at the back. But MCR, 2 lap pressure tyres, we mentioned him earlier. He was the one guy that started on the hards and it worked out for him. He's now into P6. As this race goes on, especially the last 3-4 laps, he's going to have such a big advantage with that tyre life.
Yeah, he is. Resify could still be in this. And the MCR will definitely still be in this because pitting when he did under safety car, those mediums could get to the end. So MCR is holding off for dear life here and hoping that the other guys start to die on their tyres as well. We could see a Reservoir versus MCR battle here as well. Hoda Post, I thought he was going to go into the pits then. I did question his decision if he was going to go into the pits, but luckily he does not. Keeping an eye on the battle at the front as well. Valtter's eagerly awaiting to try and get past the Ferraris into P2 then, but he's not quite close enough. What about Reservoir? He's even closer to Valtter then, heading towards turn 4. He's taking a different line. I would usually take the left, but he's taking the right, so he's been very brave. Valtter covers off to the left a little bit, but are we seeing what Bowers did earlier on as well? Valtter's they made contact! They made contact, and Reservoir's in the wall. That's out. Safety car? Surely it's got to be safety car.
That's huge!
Oh, small spinners! Bowers has spun, and I thought, yeah, Paul the Pose has spun too. What is happening at the moment? Are those memes just starting to overheat?
I'm not too sure. This is very, very strange. The hards are always going to be a bit hard to keep hold of, but I wasn't on board with Valtteri, so I'm not too certain whose fault that was, if there was someone to blame, but that's race management. I'm such a hypocrite to talk about it because I lose my head all the time, but when you look back at it, you just think, was it worth maybe fighting for that? Like, should I just not risked it and get maybe 2 or 3 less points? You got to think of the season sometimes instead of the race. And Mr. Walter now, because of that, he's going to be very far behind his 2 Ferrari drivers, and it could be down to the Ferraris to take a massive lead, not only in the constructors, but Japs is going to be looking at the championship. Stephen, there's still time for him in this championship. He's not that far behind, and a big result like this could really go a long way for him.
Yeah, it can. Even though you're reserve, you still score points, and if you ever become a full-time driver, your points do get carried over from your reserve role, so there's plenty of motivation to score points even if you are a reserve driver, because you never know when someone would drop out pretty much. But Esteban is a full-time driver, and he's looking to score well. I think, look, by the way, this looking Ferrari could lead the Constructors' Championship, because don't forget
they'll lead it by quite a while.
They are level on points, so, well, don't forget Red Bull and Ferrari were joint leaders coming into this. But
well, Red Bull have a reserve in already anyway, as it stands, so they were already on the back foot for this race. Walter's the only full-time driver for them. Slayer obviously couldn't be here today.
And I don't think reserve score points for constructors, do they?
No, they do not. Not in this league, sadly, but Stephen still looking at the leader. It's just between these two. I'd maybe potentially just still use each other for a bit. Guarantee that Walter's behind. What's going on?
Oh my god, he spun turn whatever, I can't remember what turn he has. Safety car!
And now who's going to take the gamble?
This is a crucial part of this race. Who's
going to take the gamble?
I wonder, would they prefer track position, or would they prefer the softer tyres?
Bosnia's just pitted as well. He's going to be so upset.
Valtter's in as well, MCR, Licks. 2 Ferraris
They're all in.
Wanting track position.
The Ferraris have stayed out. What? Oh, this is going to catch them out so much. And they didn't really have a choice. This is so unfortunate for them. If you're at the front, you're kind of screwed either way. Because if you go in, people stay out. And if you stay out, people go in.
Exactly. They tend to do the opposite. They follow.
Mr. Walter's in an amazing position right now.
Valtter could take back the lead of this championship.
Oh, no, honestly, I'd pit right now.
He will.
If I were the medium runners, I'd still pit. I think you're going to lose out more.
I would as
you're
well.
You're going to lose out way more staying out on those mediums.
Because the tyre advantage that you get between the mediums at this point, it's no question. Plus, if
they're not going to lose too many positions. Oh, well, one will. They're both out. One's going to have to stay out.
If you stayed on the mediums, you do risk getting a puncture.
I don't think they're in puncture territory because we've had a few safety cars now, but
good point.
They're going to be very slow. But if one of them did want to pit, like they both can't because they'll double stack. So one person's going to have to see out this race on the medium tyres, and they're about to get hounded. I don't know what I'd do here because where they're going to come out if they pit, they're going to come out behind this whole pack.
They will. Everyone's starting to catch up. And the question is as well, they're going to come out behind, if they catch up, they're going to come behind the people that just pitted Bosnia. Jordan and Knetz.
Japson needs Stephen to do some absolute bits for him. If he's going to keep, I mean, they need Bowers to be a nightmare, which we've seen. He's been very
back in this race, but
competitive.
he's going to get swamped.
He's been very competitive in fights. He's not afraid to get his shoulders out, which is the only bit of good news between these two drivers now, because they really need him to do anything they can to keep Walter behind us. There are drivers going in AI mode. Do whatever you want to do with that.
I don't think you're allowed to do that. There is the rule, even in safety car periods, you are not allowed to go in AI mode. I will get the rules up as well. So, who is in AI mode at the moment? I'm tempted to be mean and try and catch them in the act.
Well, there's been quite a few. I tend to, I'll point it out a bit. If anyone wants to report it, they can.
If they're in, I think if they're in AI mode, if it gets caught on stream, they will be reported anyway by the stewards himself, I believe. Let me have a look.
I'm looking at Mr. Walter right now. He's been sat in it for quite a while.
Oh, failed to get out of. He's not AI for me.
Oh, for me, he's got AI mode right next to his name.
Oh right, he's not. He's not AI for me.
Well, what a beautiful game. What a beautiful game.
He's fine, but this goes for any situation, even during VSC safety car and formation lap. Do not go AI or ghost in the safety car. If you do, qualifying ban for the next race. So you won't lose position, you'll just get a qualifying ban for the next race.
Yeah, you got to decide if that's worth it, I guess. If you're a lower down driver and you're not scoring many points, you might think, screw it, I'll take the qualifying ban and get a good position.
That's. I think it used to be. I think you get license points as well, I believe, as 2. So it depends if you want a clean slate of license points. If you don't want any license points, don't bother. But if you're not bothered, I'm not trying to encourage anybody. We're not trying to encourage everybody. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Anyway, safety car is in this lap. So the top 3 will be getting a bit worried because the DRS will be activated lap 27. Oh my goodness. Hopefully my internet's not. Oh, is it the lobby is lagging for me like crazy. My internet.
You are starting to get a little bit roboty in the voice.
Let's hope it's not the same for my race later. I will probably have to restart my PSN, my console, but we'll see. Anyway,
right, the restart now, and both Ferrari drivers have gone. And Bowers has reacted very well, but so has Mr. Walter, who's going to come on the outside. They're going to be side by side going into turn 1. Bowers is using a little bit there, and he's going to hold on to it impressively. He's parked his car very well, and I can hear a little bit of argy-bargy further down. It's getting a little bit touch and go as Steve Day has made contact, but I think they've just got away with it. And oh no, this is getting a. Connects has sent it from an absolute mile back.
Wow!
On 3 people.
He could get in another position as well. He's up to 10th. Lick's up to 6th. So he's having a recovery drive. I think he started 2nd in this race, and he could try and get on the inside of MCR into turn 7 and 8, which he does not.
Oh my lord.
Jordan gets past Spronky to 7. There's so many battling happening already in this race. Here we go. Spronky could be back into this as well. He could try and get past 2 people into the heavy braking zone at turn 10. He does not. He decides to be cautious, which is, to be fair, it's quite. You don't want to take too many misses at this late stage of the race.
People need to calm down.
Connect could go for another risky move here. Heading past turn 12, heading towards turn 13, still side by side in the understeering part of the track. I like to call it understeering central. They still make a bit of contact then. Heading towards the exit of turn 13, heading towards turn 14 now onto this back straight. Connect is already out of deployment. So he's losing a lot of power, so that's going to help Bosnia at the back try and get past him. You can probably see on the back his ERS light is
and
flashing.
Mr. Walter,
so Bosnia could
he's
get
going to go for the move, and he needs to get this move done now. I think he's going to. He's going to get the move done on the inside, I'd assume. Bowers is holding it really well on those mediums. The medium runner's really impressive. He's held it. And he stayed ahead, and there's going to be no DRS. And MCR's got around the outside of Welch. He's going to go on the outside of Bowers as well.
Surely not. Surely not.
No way.
MCR
those shots are going to be much. He's done it. That's incredible.
He's up to 1st.
That is incredible. And he's up into third place
He's
out
on
of
for the win of
nowhere.
this race. He's on
That
for
is
the win of this
absolutely
race.
incredible.
That is crazy. If he does exactly the same to what he did to the two Ferraris, we did say watch out for him, didn't he? He did the perfect strategy. He pitted brilliantly in the first safety car. He started on mediums. To be fair, alternate strategy, like we said, is OP.
He's going to get DRS as well after this lap.
Yeah, he will. So not now. So he's still using the overtake, to be fair, but he's a leading soft runner. He's the leading soft runner. Walter is stuck between
He's
himself
got Bowers
and Bowers.
behind
He can't
him.
get past.
Bowers is going to do the work for him. He's going to hold off these soft runners. And Walter needs to get past Bowers, but he's really struggling.
MCR. Surely MCR could get two Ferraris here, maybe? No, he backs off. He wants to back off. Heading towards lap 27.
I think he knows he's got DRS.
Not now, obviously.
It won't be this time. Oh, he's got a great run on Stephen.
Oh my
And
god,
Stephen,
without DRS? No, he's
in. Here we go. Oh no, he's backed off.
Right, he's backed
Smart
off.
move.
He realised he won't get DRS if he doesn't go for it. Well, he probably still will. Spunky does get past Connects though, up to 8th position. So, brilliant move from him.
Right.
But now detection
Here
point.
we
Oh,
go.
Connects is ground. C's round.
Here we go. He's got DRS. But so does Stephen and
Could go
Japsa.
for P2. To be fair, the medium run's doing a great job. Spunky's out. It's too
Spunky's
late
around.
for a safety
He's
car.
a little
Way
bit too
late for a
aggressive at the
safety
back,
car.
these drivers. And this is going to be such a great end to the race. These medium runners, like you said, doing very well. Bowers as well, very impressive. He's got so many soft runners behind him. MCR's got a great run. He's going to get, if he gets past Stephen here, this could be it.
Yeah, it's going to be tight. Jasper, I think, is doing a brilliant job trying to help his teammate right now. That is very good teamwork. Meanwhile, the other McLaren...
Well, they need each other.
The other McLaren's doing quite well as well, trying to fend off Connect into turn 11 and 12. They go.
They're side by side, and Connects has been quite aggressive this race, but quite very held it around the outside. Fair play to him. And a great little move there.
That was a good move.
As MCR was looking at it, he was side by side with Stephen going up the hill of the right-hander. He's all over the back of him, and he knows he's running out of time to get these moves done.
He is, but to be fair, I'm just looking at positions gained right now. Let me have a look. 8 places, and no matter what, he's had a good race, but you'll probably be gutted that he's...
But you see the win.
Yeah, you see the win
He
is in
sees
his
the
hands,
win.
and he's on the better tyre, so surely he would have gone
Here we
for
go.
it. Here he goes. His first opportunity.
It's not as fast in a straight line. And Japsa is...
Is Stephen going to go for the lead? No, he's
No,
not.
I think
MCR
they're being
going
very
outside.
smart.
No, inside.
Oh! And look at Walter's coming back into this, and this is getting insane. These Ferraris are working together so well.
That's going to help the constructors massively. MCR, I think his time has run out. Because you know the DRS zone in turn 10, you don't make many overtakes there. I haven't seen many overtakes there this race. So I think MCR's time has run out unless the two
He
Ferraris
needs to
make
get
a
past
mistake.
Stephen
He's got to get past Stephen, otherwise...
this lap.
Oh, connects a spun. Oh, he's hit the wall. He's
And
going
that's
to
going
be
to be
out
no
of the
safety
points.
car.
We are on the final lap of this race.
Yeah, you're not going to get any safety car. Walter...
No, penultimate lap, sorry, not final lap.
These Ferraris, fair play for how well they've played them, because those mediums are going to feel like absolute rubbish right now. And they're using each other to perfection. Stephen was very smart to not go for the move there, because I think that would have backfired. I think MCR would have got them both going up that straight into turn 3. So, turn 4, sorry. As MCR is now going to look at the back. 2 flashing lights. Patterson's still got a little bit left in the reserve tank as we head on to the final race lap of this race. And we can't for sure call who's going to win, as Stephen's going to get DRS as well. So MCR's really struggling to take advantage. He's got a better run.
Ooh.
Stephen's not as close. He's not got the straight line speed, and Walter's going to come in behind.
Here we go.
And he's trying to go around the outside. Walter's going to get them both here.
Oh, that was close. How on earth did he
Walter's
say that?
gone.
This could be Walter's for the taking.
No, he hasn't. And now Bowers is coming up on Walter. What's going on?
I literally do not know who's going to win this race. Walter
And
to
Stephen,
the right, Bowser to the
Japsa
left.
needs to give Stephen the biggest thank you in the world after this race, because he has played his role to perfection.
It's like
As
Sergio Perez all over again.
He just can't find a way past. They're on 19 and 20 lap old mediums. Bowers as well. I'll fair play to him. He's staying in there in the group as well.
I would have get swamped. I would have been near the back by now.
MCR's going to feel so frustrated after that incredible double overtake he's got. Has now got past Bowers. I think there'll be some to talk about. We were certain MCR had the race win.
Yeah,
we were certain.
I'm certain, but it could still happen. It could still happen. You never know. Anything could happen in Formula 1, and it usually does. MCR's right on the back.
He's got
of
a great run.
And if he's got to get the move, he's got to get the move now. And I think he's lost his chance to take the victory.
One more corner. Can you hold your nerve? Yes, they can. Wait, no, MCR's going to have to run to the line. I don't think it's going to be enough as Pat Sajapsa crosses the line to win the race.
By 1/10.
Stephen holds on for a Ferrari 1-2. MCR, after a great attempt, gets P3. Mr. Walter P4. I think he'll be thinking what could have been if he didn't go for that move on the outside. Licks in P5. Bowers holding on. A great drive from him in P6 on those mediums. Both Jordans once again finish next to each other, P7 and 8. Steve Day P9. Pony Poles rounds off the top 10. Connects is actually going to get the points for P11.
Wing damage.
I had assumed front wing damage is going to cross the line. There you go, P11. And I'm not certain. No, I don't think Flip Namsham raced. So I don't know if P12 will get the points for P12. That all depends on how much of the race they completed.
I think he left, but I'm not entirely sure. MCR gets drive of the day. Which, to be fair, he's one of our drive of the day. But can we give team of the day to Ferrari? Both Ferraris have played the strategy to perfection, and they're leading the Constructors' Championship by miles. And I don't know who's got. Is Valter still going to lead the drivers? I don't know, but I'm not the one that does the maths. We'll find out next week. Well, you guys will find out next week.
I think Walter will be leading, yeah.
Yeah, Walter will be leading. Okay, so Reservoir's DNF did not help him there. So, Pastor Jasper wins from Staban, MCR, Walter, Licks, Bowers, Jordan. The two Jordans, I'm going to call them the two Jordans because they always tend to finish near each other. So, fair play to them. Steve in ninth. But be fair to Steve, he spun quite a lot today. Good recovery drive. To be fair, the safety cars did help him, but sometimes you need the luck, and he did have the pace in the final few laps, so fair play to him. Paul DePose in 10th, Canet in 11th. I think Bosnia will still be classified because he was still here. Yeah, he will still be classified in 12th.
What race did he DNF? Let's have a gander real quick. United Bosnia. He completed 28 laps. He'll get the points for that.
I think I think it's 90% or something, or is it like less than 2 laps?
I think it's 95%. I'm not sure though.
95%. But yeah, that's your order then. We usually have interviews, but we're not going to have time to do them because it is 5-2, and we've both got our races to go to because we have to race in Bahrain as well. But before we go, any final thoughts?
Stunning end to the race. That. Congrats to both Ferraris. Stephen wins my driver of the day because I think he, not single-handedly, but he very much helped Japsa get that win there. Great job holding MCR, and MCR possibly overtaking the season. So congratulations for that.
To be fair, I really enjoyed that race. That was very, very good. Bahrain always brings out classics in Eloise. Where are we next week? We are... I almost looked at the season 6 calendar. That's not ideal. Ooh, we are at Australia next week.
Oh, I hate that track.
Yeah, to be honest, I hate that track too. I always tend to DNF on it. But another topic for another day. But the drivers will be at Australia next week. So make sure you stay tuned in for that. Make sure, like we said, to watch the D1 and D4 streams later on. But before that, starting in just under 15 minutes time, we've got Division 2 and Division 5 having their races at Temple State. So make sure you check them out. And then we start all over again next week. And it's been a pleasure joining you again, and hopefully Ben will join you again next week.
Hopefully. I think he said that he can make it.
Brilliant. Hopefully he's not doing football or anything like that. But I pray to God. I hope his football match goes well. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. We're now going to prepare for our races, and we will see you all in our respective tiers next week for the Australian Grand Prix. Goodbye.